Ladies and gentlemen, next episode of Content Fridays is here. Welcome. And today we have a lot of things to cover, so let me just jump right into it and share with you the ContentFries 2.0 development progress, what's basically left to do before we release ContentFries 2.0 in first phase, and we will talk about also about additional phases. That means phase number 2, 3, and other phases as well. And also what we are about to add in the current version of ContentFries. We will talk about disappearances remover improvements and other stuff as well. So let me just jump right into it. And this is ContentFries 2.0 dashboard, and this is how it will look like basically in phase number 1. I think there might be some minor improvements added before we release it. This is basically a draft, but let me explain how it works and what also will be added. And let me go back to the roadmap, and we have this column right here. Here you can track the progress of ContentFries 2.0 development and also read some, important notes and information regarding 2.0 phase number 1 and other stuff as well. And what will be new when we compare ContentFries 2.0 with the current version and the first, you know, very requested feature is that ContentFries 2.0 will have folders and also nested folders, and there are workspaces, and this is on top of themes. You can use theme features in the current version as well, but there is no workspaces related functionality or feature. And what is a workspace? Workspace is basically something that belongs to the team, to any team that you manage or that you are admin of or owner. And you can create these workspaces, and workspace is something like a clean new ContentFries account that has separate, every folder and content, and everything is separated from different workspaces. So depending on the user membership, you will be able to create these workspaces and manage them and assign team members into these workspaces and stuff like that. So if you have, clients, this might be very useful if you create content for different clients and they have, their brand assets and stuff like that. So you can separate the content for individual clients by workspaces. That will be probably one of the best use cases for workspaces, and we will see how many different use cases will be there. So that's something new also compared to the current version. As you can see, the interface is completely redesigned, and this is how the dashboard will look like in the 2.0. As I mentioned earlier, there will be some minor changes, but this is basically a draft. I would say maybe 95% done of the dashboard. And I will go to other stuff as well that we will speak about that later. Then bulk upload support, so you can upload, up to 10 fries or up to 10 potatoes without doing one after another. More filtering options, that means you can find your fries and potatoes by name, length, by folder, by different metadata of the video. That means basically you can filter by almost anything. You can filter by FPS or basically every aspect of the file that you upload will be filterable. And also in the future, this is something interesting, it will not be in the phase number 1, but also searching by the transcription. That means when you are talking about pricing, or maybe some sales techniques or something like that, you will be able to find and search by those terms as well, and it will find you all your fries and all your potatoes where you are talking about those search phrases. So we are thinking about that as well, but that will be implemented later. Completely rewrite and backend code. What else to say is about this? Basically, it will be more, it will be faster and more reliable, and there are a lot of tests, automated tests behind the scenes that we are running before there is some new changes, and these can help us prevent situations where you fix something and you break something else, and these automated tests are really great for something like that. And also we will use them in the future. This basically doesn't prevent us from uh, maybe there will be some bugs or issues, but as soon as we find out, we can write a test to on that specific bug or issue, and by doing this it will be 100% it will not happen in the future, because it will not pass that test in case we break something, or so that will lead to much fluenter. And also when we need some kind of redesign or refactoring in the code, we can do that uh, basically thanks to that system, because it is monitoring and keeping everything safe. And then better dashboard and more. As you can see, this is the new dashboard. You can see the last 30 or last month your usage, and also how many potatoes, fries, and some kind of statistics regarding these metrics. And let me go now to different phases that is related to, this is something that's related to ContentFries 2.0, and this is phase number one. All these changes, all these improvements I mentioned are related to phase number one, and this is the current phase we are intensively working on, and this is something that we will release to the end of this year, and basically we are doing our best to release it as soon as possible. But there is also live and stuff, and it's hard to predict in such a huge update like this the specific concrete date. But as I said, we will do our best to release it to the end of this year. It's possible we can do that in 1 week or so. So that's a possibility, but I don't want to promise that, because many things can happen, and also we are awaiting new child, and it may come basically anytime soon. So that's also something that can delay some things. Then we have phase number two. Phase number two is about social media integration and content posting and scheduling, and this is also webhooks and stuff like that, so you can automate your content creation and connect it with Zapier or Make or any other automation platform that you use. And this is expected in our first quarter of 2023, not 22, so these dates are incorrect. But social media integrations, and I think after we release this, there is nothing on the market that will be comparable to ContentFries, because all the other tools have many video editing features and stuff like that, but nothing is also at least from what I know, nothing on the market has video editing features and content repurposing features, and also social media scheduling and planning features. So that will make ContentFries much better from my perspective, because I prefer to have everything in one place. I don't want to bulk upload everything and then use some scheduler and But you will be able to do that if you want to, if you are used to some kind of scheduler or planner. It's up to you. You can still download everything in bulk and export everything in bulk and then schedule it elsewhere. But you will have the option to do that directly in ContentFries, and with similar technique, or similar manner as in a Publer. I really like how Publer works, so we are taking a lot of inspiration from that, and all the contexts and everything will be implemented directly with the scheduler that will be inside of ContentFries. So you just select all the fries and all the contexts, and you send them into the scheduler, and it will auto schedule all your content. I think that's something that will be really mind-blowing and very useful. And that's phase number 2. Phase number 3 is about migrating and redesigning basically context editor and trimmer. Currently in the in this version, the context editor and the trimmer is basically the same as in the current version, because we are embedding it into the 2.0 interface. But in this phase, we will rework that from scratch and make that a part of the 2.0. So by doing so, the 2.0 will be basically done and will become the primary version, and the current version will still be available. That means you will have some kind of grace period to move to 2.0, but still be able to use the first version. And then all the future phases, phase number 4 and 5, that's about new features. But the reason why we are mentioning phase number 4 here is because when we will work on ContentFries 2.0 and Trimmer 3.0 and migrating basically these into the current code base, we will also work simultaneously on new features. That means we will add text to video tool and the merger tool and other new tools as well, and recipes, and everything is explained in the blog post about 2.0 version. But this is just from the big picture how it will work, and some kind of estimates regarding how it will go from the development perspective. And after we release 2.0 version, that means the quote generator will, I think, not be available, if I understand that correctly, as we were discussing, but it will be available in the first version. This is because we can't embed the quote generator as it is here. When I go into it, this is the quote generator. We basically will redo this from scratch in the 2.0 version, and not embed this into 2.0. Instead, we will do it basically as the first tool that we will migrate into 2.0 code base will be quote generator, and also with improvements and more layouts and templates. And we will build upon that, because this one is in early access, as you can see, and the next we will build on top of it. And in the future, it will also have features like carousel generator. Carousel, for example, is very popular on Instagram. That's the swipe, kind of post where you have 10 different images and you swipe one to second, third, and so on, and some kind of carousel. I think that will be really awesome, because our designer is making these posts, and these look really catchy. Basically, it's mind-blowing. So some kind of carousel generator, this is something that you will be able to use, I think, also on LinkedIn, if I'm correct. And maybe in the future some kind of infographics creator and other social media graphics related features as well. So we will see how it goes from that. And that's regarding the quotes, quote generator. You can read some notes regarding it here. And here we have the progress. That means you can see completed, what's not, what's missing. Usage statistic data, as you can see, this data is just some kind of hard-coded data. This is not from the actual database, so we have to send those data from the database, calculate them, and then display them in this chart. That's something that's basically my minor thing also. Potatoes, fries, and context. This is minor thing that's missing. Content tips. This is something that will be, I think, really useful. Some kind of content tips, you will see them here. For example, as you can see, this tip right here is saying that you can use the tab shortcut to play or pause the video in the context editor and also in the trimmer. This shortcut is universal to both of those tools, and we will add dozens of tips like that here, so you will be able to see some kind of inspiration, quick tip, and whatever. Then some kind of totals data. This is also hard coded, so minor thing. And transcription and rendering hours donut chart. That's what you have here. When we go to the dashboard of the current version, we need to migrate those charts from here to the second version. We will add them probably to this section. Okay, so that's regarding the dashboard. Then we have a global. So also this is 50% complete, but not everything is something that is required before we release that version, before we release phase number 1 to you. For example, news integration is a low priority. Profile section, this is basically done because you can go from here to the profile right here, and it should open ContentFries profile. There is some broken link, so let me go back. But there is just some misconfiguration there. I was testing it locally and it was working, so that's something that should be, but let me uncheck that before we publish it to the closed beta version. Then news integration, that's basically this light bulb with all the news that we have here. That's also something that's low priority, but simple to implement. Data caching also, nothing that would require us to delay release of the phase number 1. What is most important is basically fries and potatoes section and stuff like, for example, bulk actions, where you can select all the fries in a bulk and send them to the rendering server and render them and download them as a zip file, or turn them into audio, or move all the selected fries and move them to specific folder. This is something that we need to finish before we release phase number 1, and basically that's almost everything from what's missing here. As you can see, there is 20 tasks and 14 of them are completed. Also in the potatoes. Folders, nested folders is something that we will probably release after we release phase number 1. We will see, maybe before, I'm not sure. Modify folders, that means change the folder name, but everything else regarding folders is completed, and this is minor thing that's missing. Nested folders, it's more more challenging to finish and to implement, but this is not something that the releasing is halted on or delayed because of this. Maybe nested folders will be released after we release phase number one. So we will see upload fonts and media files. This means basically you can upload media files in the context editor and also in the trimmer. So it is partially done, but not from the interface, from the dashboard. And this Google Drive Dropbox direct link, this is simple to migrate, so not a big deal. And adjustable items on third step, that's a little bit more technically, difficult, but not a big deal also. So this is the current status. As you can see, not many things are left before we release. So as I said, if everything goes as expected, I think we can release the phase number one next week, and but the goal is to release it to the end of this year. Okay, so that's 2.0 version, and that's the development kind of news to you guys. So we can monitor the progress. We will keep this up to date. And one thing we will release probably this Sunday or Monday is disfluencies remover improvements. And this is something that's related to the current version of ContentFries. When I go to potatoes, you can use the disfluencies remover, and it has a couple of flaws, and these flaws and these disadvantages, this is something that's related to the technical decisions that we made. When I go to disfluencies remover, it works pretty well with disfluencies like this. Okay, these are disfluencies that the system can detect in your transcription, and the issue is when you need to remove something like for example. And this is because this disfluencies remover is based, and it is looking for single word terms, and also only if they are in the middle of the sentence, not if the sentence is beginning with with the term. In that case, it will not work. So these are two basically disadvantages of the current, technical stuff that we are using behind the scenes. And we found a way how to make it how to make it better. So this is something that we will release Sunday or in the Monday, and it will remove all the disfluencies, and also it will support different languages when we do this. Currently, the disfluencies remover works only for English, but after we release this, it will start working with automatically generated transcriptions for other languages as well. So that's something that's also coming out soon, and that's this disfluencies remover. Okay. After that, we will continue working on the phase number one to finish it as soon as possible. This is our biggest priority currently, but also simultaneously we can basically we can work on stuff like add disfluencies remover to the context editor, add video layers support to the context editor, and GIF support, and this will be something that we will work simultaneously on as we are continuing with phase number one. And also second developer is working on all the integrations. So the phase number two is basically happening also behind the scenes, but that's something that I will start presenting you more in the next year. So that's phase number two. That's not mention worthy I would say currently, because it's all about the backend stuff and backend integration. That's something that you basically cannot see in the interface. So uh, as soon as all those integrations are finished and working, we can start implementing them to the interface. And that's basically it. Okay, so that's ContentFries 2.0 development. Let me know what you think. We have really busy days currently, so I'm not very active in the group as I would like to be. But this is due to some personal stuff that I'm also dealing with currently, and that we are awaiting new child, as I was mentioning earlier. So I will do our best to, finish this big beast as soon as possible. Hopefully, we can really do that in a week, but uh, many things are happening simultaneously, so we will see. And keep monitoring the progress, keep posting in the group what you think and what should be there. Let me know what you think. And also, I forgot to mention that all the dates and statistic will be, dates, so you can check different periods of time in the charts. Everything will be there. Okay, so don't worry. I think 2.0 will be much cleaner and better organized, and much you will have much more pleasure to use that as opposed to the current version. At least that's what I think when I using the 2.0 version interface. And that's all I wanted to share with you guys. So let me know what you think, and thanks for being awesome, and I will see you next week.